Hello and welcome to the Margin Max Minute, where every minute counts. Today, we're proud to showcase to you our top 5 best videos of the Margin Max Minute. Prepare to embark on a captivating journey as we unveil the very best of this groundbreaking video series. In an era where time is a precious commodity and financial decisions demand careful consideration, our Margin Max Minute videos emerged as beacons of knowledge and efficiency. Week after week, we have dissected the complexities of the financial landscape, professional development, and empowering viewers with succinct and actionable insights in under 10 minutes.
I want to discuss the idea of what do we do when we're facing a significant problem at work. We've all run into this before. I'm talking about those multi-layered, complex, interdimensional, mission-crushing problems that seem to never go away. And sometimes we have responsibility for part of it. Other times it's beyond our control. I want to discuss the situation where you do, in fact, have control over what's out there. And in fact, I would invite you to take that perspective most of the time, if not to just simply add a helping hand. The first perspective in a solution series for you would be to just simply flip your perspective. If this is a huge problem in an organization, it's likely and kind of obvious it needs a solution. So what can you do? Just start looking for a solution. Rather than go to management to point this out or peers to point it out, bring the problem, but also bring the concept that you're actively trying to problem solve on this. That alone can change and create excellent perspective and a whole new attitude in the whole organization about how to go about things. I refer to something I call zero solution pollution. In other words, are you in an organization where we talk about problems and we don't quite solve them? They're kind of a pain in the butt. Let's get rid of that. And the way you do that is to really rally the peers. You do not have to be a manager in order to pull a group of employees together to problem solve. In fact, I would invite you to do that before you actually escalate to management, because it's likely that your solution is going to be that much more developed to look at. But it's important to keep that out there, to be completely honest about what the real situations are and what needs to be done. Okay, so with that, remember, zero solution pollution. So zero solution is pollution. Don't allow it. Take the ball, get the solution done, communicate to your superiors, make sure you're aligned with what the mission of your department or organization is in terms of creating that solution. And you're going to be amazed at how you're going to be able to rally people around you. Is that with current information dissemination and availability out there in the world through tools like the internet and extranets and the way we go about sharing our data, we have already started to change the entire profile of our professional relationships with both our customers and our vendors. Of data availability, information technology, and now artificial intelligence, it's really time that you consider rolling forward and having these conversations in order to focus on the true end user utility. Now, this is the value that the user gains, and your customer and you ultimately have some kind of end user who's going to benefit from the product or service. And that's ultimately the party that pays for all of your efforts. So to come together, eliminating buy-side cost and sell-side cost is just one of many, many hints that you can start analyzing today to make sure you're going to be here in the future. What's interesting is that I want to talk about the idea of artificial intelligence, but not directly. First, I want to cover this concept of a factorial design. This is a tool from engineering, and in particular, industrial engineering, that's been around for decades. What it means essentially is that we have to sit back and determine just what we're going to test. For instance, the way we go about pulling this together is first a hypothetical experiment where we come up with our features and our price points. What's interesting is it becomes very difficult practically to get this kind of analysis done in the real world. For instance, if we only have 4 features across a high and a low price we want to test in our market, we're already to 16 possible outcomes. So it can be seen that we can drastically simplify this, improve our overall expenses of the test by taking maybe one of the features out. So we test 4 minus 1 or 3 features across a high and a low price point. That's going to generate essentially 8 outcomes that we have to analyze. Clearly, you have to facilitate getting your own data inside a system where it's safe, where you can protect that data, but all of a sudden the ability to really look at a significant amount of combinations across features, across price points, across markets, and we can just keep adding factors and complexity with the advent of artificial intelligence to really utilize that to go in and find where the sweet spots are, where the opportunity is to move forward. What I really Today, I want to talk about workplace safety and the idea of the industrial athlete. It's a great play-in to precisely what the fit professional is trying to get done. And the paradigm shift comes from a guy named 𝗠𝗏, who's a VP of Workforce Development for 𝗠𝗏𝗶𝗂𝗁, a consulting company. He shared some ideas on the National Sandstone and Aggregate weekly podcast on safety that I thought would be quite useful for my listeners to consider and spark some good creative thinking about how they approach the idea of their workforce and just how to enhance the overall experience. The idea is to utilize the concept of an industrial athlete, which means we actually use the home base to train the industrial athlete to be successful in their career back at their organization. It's an interesting shift in the way you think about things. And in particular, with the idea of safety, we often think, especially in industrial settings, think of the benefit of going back home and instilling the right kind of hydration habits into your family, which in turn, and again, create the opportunity for the employee as an industrial athlete to actually train good habits at home to bring back to the workforce and contribute to the mission of the organization. The last one that Cal brings up, again, we've heard in mining organizations, fleets, various construction industries, and that's the idea of just warming up before we do a physical activity. Again, back to the exact same set of weekend chores that come every single spring in the state of Wisconsin. We will serve ourselves much better by going through a brief warm-up routine, getting those muscles where they need to go. If you have a question on this, it's quite likely that who's ever in your human resources department or your safety director can get you help in terms of what warm-ups are really going to help you avoid strains and sprains. The downline impact of those things happening are absolutely impactful, not just back at work, but also at your home. Again, we have the side benefit of that industrial athlete transferring those excellent ideas back through their family unit and getting the benefit with their loved ones. Again, I want to topic of deliberate practice. I'm going to do this within the context of preparation. We all understand as professionals the concept of preparation. It's interesting that most times this is a solo effort, very thought-provoked. It happens in our mind. Sometimes we work with teams, of course, but we are contemplating changes. We are experimenting mostly on paper. What's interesting about deliberate practice is we are trying to refine and perfect a particular tactical action toward the result. Preparation is different in that we're thinking about all the different things we might do. Deliberate practice really is about focus. And so we might have to do deliberate practice in more of a sequential way when we're trying to get a lot done. Maybe we practice one item and perfect that, then we move on to the next.
We believe that maximizing your margin, optimizing your team, and rescuing your time are not just ideals, but achievable goals. We urge you to implement the knowledge you've gained today and embrace a future of professional development and financial prosperity. Stay tuned for the remarkable journey that awaits you, where every minute counts, and financial success is just a margin max minute away.